And I am glad that most of my colleagues have raised these concerns, Honorable Speaker. When we budget, Honorable Speaker, is there traceability of the monies that we are borrowing to ensure that there is implementation of the same, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, the projections of these monies, Honorable Speaker, which will be paid and which cost will be felt by the Kenyan taxpayer, Honorable Speaker, must be held to account, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have seen various state departments, Honorable Speaker. And for example, I mentioned the State Department for Youth Affairs, Honorable Speaker, having a budget for youth empowerment programs, Honorable Speaker. But I can say here, without any doubt, Honorable Speaker, that there is no program being run by the State Department for Youth Affairs in Kirinyaga County, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must be accountable as the 13th Parliament to the Kenyan people, Honorable Speaker. We must ensure that what we budget for, Honorable Speaker, is seen and felt on the ground by the Kenyan taxpayer, Honorable Speaker. It would be an injustice, Honorable Speaker, to be sent here as representatives of the people, Honorable Speaker, and fail to ensure that the monies that are borrowed are properly accounted for, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today as I speak, the women of Moe are unable to access Ngurubani Market, Honorable Speaker, because of the flooding of Biba River, Honorable Speaker. These House allocated a budget for El Nino management in county governments, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we must also ensure that we come up with stringent monetary policies, Honorable Speaker, that will ensure that the expenditure by the national government and the county governments is minimized to ensure that we focus more on funding development projects, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the brighter note, Honorable Speaker, we have spoken and raised issues of reviving local industries, Honorable Speaker, and I am glad that Kirinyaga County is one of the beneficiary counties that will have the industrial parks, Honorable Speaker, where we put in more than Kenya shillings 500 million for an export processing zone in the main budget, Honorable Speaker. And this will be a game changer and create employment for the populace of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Speaker. In terms of agriculture, Honorable Speaker, this government has put in more than 5 billion for subsidized fertilizer, Honorable Speaker. And I can confirm that the same has reached the farmers of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the tourism sector needs to be relooked, Honorable Speaker. And this House will be accountable to the Kenyan people, Honorable Speaker. And what I can ask and urge the members of Parliament today, let not the 13th Parliament be the Parliament that is laughed upon. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Butula, Honorable Joseph Oyula.
Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also add my voice to this very important motion. Madam Speaker, I want to start by thanking the committee that has brought out the problems that the country is facing under debt management and other expenses. Under Speaker, CFS should be the easiest part of the government's expenditure to manage, particularly when you come to constitutional salaries. So to come up with a report that there are excesses under the salaries, there must be something wrong, and that something must be followed very strictly. There must be a lot of hidden expenditure under CFS. And if we have a lot of hidden expenditure under CFS, I think our officers need to be rechecked. Madam Speaker, contribution to international organizations, that is also part of the consolidated fund expenditure. These also should be managed properly. So the budget under consolidated fund services is a very, very manageable part of the budget that there should be no doubt. Madam Speaker, the other area that we need to look into as far as public debt is concerned is the domestic interest. Domestic borrowing, Madam Speaker, if not contained, we can talk a lot, but we will never have any change. So domestic debt should be contained, should be controlled. It looks, most of the domestic debt goes into consumption, which is not appropriate for this country. So, Madam Speaker, the committee has done a good job to bring out some of those problems, and I think it is upon this House to ensure that the records of the public debt and other consolidated fund services are properly maintained. If we don't do that, we will be getting figures that vary from time to time. So, Madam Speaker, as I support the committee's report, I would urge this House to ensure that the records of public debt and other consolidated fund services are properly looked into and managed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The mic. Madam Beatrice Kamei. Beatrice Kamei.